First of all, I want to say I get that dissociation can feel scary to work with, but you don't have to be afraid of us. You don't have to be afraid of those of us who struggle with dissociation or having parts as a major factor in our experience. So one of the reasons I decided to come out more publicly about my own experiences as a woman in recovery, not just from addiction, but also with an unspecified dissociative disorder. And I've had symptoms of pretty heavy dissociative stuff since I was very young. And my addiction covered it up for many years. And then once I got sober, the dissociation and the parts were still alive and well. It needed to be healed. And really, anybody who's coming for help with dissociation, we're just needing that. We're needing a sense of healing to a self that can be very fragmented. So I felt it was very important to get more personal about my experiences with dissociation, because when I get a lot of these questions about, well, what's the protocol for dissociation or how do I handle dissociation, I just hear a lot of fear coming off of the individual asking the question. And that's often a fear that's based in not understanding your own profile or your own tendencies to dissociate. Because here's the big news flash that I always like to tell trainees: we all dissociate. It is a normal part of the human experience. All dissociation means is to sever. It comes from the Latin root meaning to sever. And so when we talk about dissociation, it's either this sense of severing from the present moment that we find unpleasant, or one or more of our parts may sever away from the core self, or may never have an integration in the first place if you follow the theory of structural dissociation. And that what this severing, or what some people sometimes call fracturing, is about is just needing to, I hate to use the word dissociate again, but needing to divorce from something that's unpleasant, whether it be in the moment or a part of yourself that you're not quite ready to deal with, or that it's too painful or too overwhelming to deal with. So I tell anybody who's an EMDR clinician wanting to work with dissociation, and I promise as part of this video, I will give you some more practicals, because sometimes I know I frustrate people with my answer when they say, how do you work with dissociation in EMDR? Get to know your own dissociative self first. And then the more you make friends with yourself and your experiences with dissociation, you'll have a better at least a better sense of what your clients may be experiencing. Because those of us who have more clinically significant dissociation just may do it at a more pervasive, more intensified level than, let's say, the general public would. But we all dissociate. Last time you went on a Netflix binge, it could potentially qualify as dissociative. Even the damn calm, safe place exercise that so many of us know and cherish in the EMDR community is a dissociative exercise, because we invite the person to go outside of their self using the power of their imagination to try to make the moment or try to make distress more pleasant. And it's not a blanket slam of the calm, safe place exercise, because it works for a lot of people in a very adaptive way. But I bring that up just to say that dissociation is such a normal part of human life. The last time you checked on your phone because the moment was unpleasant, that could potentially be a severing from the moment. So what I tell clinicians is get to know how you do it first, and then understand that when your clients are doing it, it really is this response to, I'm overwhelmed, or it's unpleasant. So how do I kind of cut away? And so, yeah, you obviously have to know the signs and symptoms when you see it. Things like daydreaming, zoning out, maybe not wanting to make eye contact with you. But a lot of that is this sense of, I just don't want to be here, or I can't be here in a way that's fully alive and present. The other thing that I think clinicians need to know when it's know thyself is get a sense of your own experience with parts, because we all have parts. And if you don't like the word parts, think of it as sides of yourself or different roles that you may occupy. And most people I work with, even those who say, well, dissociative parts isn't really me, can connect with this idea of having an inner child, or the little ones inside that may still need healed. If you're a fan of the Hulk movies, this idea of Bruce Banner versus the Hulk, or in addiction, we sometimes talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I often find movies to be a very rich collection of metaphors that we can look at for helping us understand how different parts or different sides of ourselves may play out. And indeed, you as a person without clinically significant dissociation may not experience the level of fragmentation or the level of severing that some of your clients do. But if you understand how the collection of your own parts interact with each other, I do believe that gives you a better sense of being able to talk to your clients and to not be afraid of how to use this language around parts and how a person's internal system may work. So that's my general answer regarding this kind of first step, which is know your own dissociative profile first, and then we can start applying some of the technicals.